Good morning. There goes the air conditioner. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome to Random Crafty Acts. My name is Barb. I'm kind of scooting things around this morning. If you've watched me before, I have a new mat that is supposed to not stain. Before, what I had underneath here was a piece of brown packing paper, which sometimes you may have heard it crumple as I moved around. Okay, I posted these cards over on the card making community. It's a pattern that I've made before. There's a couple of different ways to do this. So, but you end up with 4 cards. I looked at a whole bunch of different things on card sketches on Pinterest, and then this is my valiant attempt to draw this. It required a lot of math. So basically you cut 4 squares, okay, and then you put them on a background, and you can do kind of, they can all be the same, and you can put something in the center, or they can be different. And I'm going to do this with 4 different pieces of paper, and we'll kind of see how it comes out. Okay, so 2 of the pieces of paper I chose are the same, and that's because I didn't have another piece of pattern paper. Yeah, still in frame. Okay, I didn't have another piece of pattern paper that coordinated well with this that I wanted to use for this. So we'll see how this does. All right, so if we're going to swap, which is the other thing you do, the key is to cut all 4 of them together at the same time. All right, so the first thing I did was I took my 6x6s and I cut them at 4 by 5 1/4. Pretty sure they're 5 1/4. Yes, they are. And this is 4. Okay. All right, so we're going to need 1 strip at 1.5 inches, and I'm using a guillotine printer because printer. Yes, that's what this is, a printer, a guillotine cutter, because this it will cut multiple sheets at the same time. So I press down and keep my fingers crossed that it goes all the way. Yes. Okay. All right, without scooching. All right, and then this is going to be 2 1/4, and I get the impression that yes, there is a slight strip on the outside edge, and we'll talk about that in just a minute. Okay, and we're going to save all of those just because that's what we do. All right, now the other thing is to keep the stacks like this, keep them together. All right, so the next piece that we're going to cut is, we want the 1 3/4. So we want to rotate it so that this will be 1 3/4. Make sure we've got them all even. And 1 3/4 is a lot smaller than what you think. All right. Okay. I'm just going to set those here. I hope you can see those. Putting the mat on seems to have, my brown paper had little X's all over it, and this is brand new. I didn't want to do that yet. Okay, so 3 1/4. Turn it this way. 3 1/4. Okay, we're going to get just those little, and we're going to throw those out. Okay, then we're going to just set these here. All right, so we've got our 2 1/4 strip, and now we want our 3 1 3/4, which is what we cut the other side at. And then there's a couple of different ways you can do the pattern. I don't want to get too distracted while I'm doing the mathematical side of this. 1 3/4. Okay, and then 3 1/4. Okay. Yes, I am recording. I started to laugh. I thought, oh my gosh, I'm not recording, but I am. Okay. All right, so that's all the cutting we're doing, so we're gonna set this aside. I'm gonna get out our mats that we're gonna be gluing on. I've mentioned before, I buy these at the Dollar Tree for $1.25. And I always have one that I keep clean so that that works. Okay, so I'm just gonna set these here on top of my sketch. Okay, one, and I'll check the frame here in just a second. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. All right, so we start like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. And you rotate. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right. 1, 2, 2. We'll adjust in a minute. 3, 4. And that's because we have two pieces that are the same, but we'll deal with that here in a minute. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Not sure how I want to do this. I could leave it like it is, okay? Because this is not bad. Okay. I could all right, obviously this works better if I've got a piece that, one more piece that is different. I'm sure if you were here, you could tell me, obviously, what I'm doing that I might be able to do differently. Okay, let's try that way. We're going to come up with one that there. I feel like I, just discovered something amazing. Ta-da! I'm brilliant. Yes, I feel absolutely brilliant. Okay, so I know that there's like two, but I kind of think it looks a little bit better. Okay, and then we're going to use the brown. So this piece on the outside is 4 1/8 by 5 3/8, and that gives us enough room to put a little bit of a border in here, because when you add these together, these two pieces set right up against each other are 3 3/4, and this is 5. Okay, so by putting it on, oh, these are 4, that's right, these are 4 by 5 1/4, I'm pretty sure. So I'm going to double check that. This is really messy, I'm sorry. No, it's 5 3/8. Okay. These are 4 1/8 by 5 3/8. Okay. All right. Let's slide these over here out of the way, and let's do some gluing and see how it looks. The hard part about this particular pattern for me has always been spacing, and yeah, it's really challenging. There's another way to do this pattern where you have like the long ones and the short ones, and you'll find this, I think, I'm trying to remember what it's actually called. Okay, so I'm going to come in, I'm working with that right there. Okay. And then this right here, there'll be the strip in the center on this one will be a little bit longer, so I know I can come over. A dry fitting might be really helpful in this case. Okay. And since I know I'm putting something in the center here, I'm not as worried about this space in the middle. Again, while this is slightly more complicated a card, it's still pretty simple. See how nice that would look if all 4 of your pieces were different. This, yeah, this is pre-cut for a card. Let me grab, it feels a little thin. Yeah, these are the thicker ones. I've got some 110-pound index that I use, and I've also got some 90-pound that I use, and it's a lot harder to tell the difference than one would think. Okay. And then this goes on here. Wow, look at how pretty that came out. I'm really impressed. I like the way the shading works there. Wow. And then it doesn't really matter what piece you put on the inside for decoration. And you don't have to do this. I mean, I'm just trying to use up all the bits and pieces. Okay, all right. I'm gonna pause the video and make the other 4 because you don't really need to watch me do this. Okay, I'm almost finished. There are a couple of different ways to do this pattern, and I've seen it done on a slightly smaller scale where this distance is the same on both sides. So this would be a little bigger and this would be a little smaller. And then the lengths are what are off different, so you can vary your pattern this way, where you've got like a long one here and a short one here, Right, so there are, and I don't remember, there's a word for what this style is called, and if I can find it when I'm getting this video ready to load, I will put that in the description. These are my card bases. This is an 8.5 by 11 piece of 110 pound index cardstock, white, available from any number of vendors. I buy all my stuff on Amazon because it's delivered that way. It makes it easier for me. We don't have a good situation here at our house for having our all of our mail goes to a post office box. So, okay, it is August here, and I'm in Southern Illinois, and we are looking at another week of triple-digit temperatures. So we're trying to like get water in the bird baths and water for the plants. We haven't had any rain. We've been watching the rain comes across the river, the Mississippi River, towards St. Louis, and we're south of, out in the center of the state, south of there, and it just, we watch the rain just like split and then go around us, or... Okay, so this is 4 cards. I'll show you my packet that I'm doing for Cards for Kindness. The organization I used to donate to didn't care if I didn't need to have the cards separated by sentiment, and they do ask that you do that, so just to, in case you're trying to figure out how to do this. And then I will put the link to the link that I use to get to their page. I'll put that. Now see, I didn't even think about this, but this probably could have gone here, but I just felt like it didn't do very well with these flowers. So that, again, the advantage of dealing with double-sided paper, this pattern would work really well with double-sided paper, because you could have 2 sheets of each, and then just flip them when you're doing the cutting. From my experience, the big key to getting this one to turn out is right is to cut all 4 pieces of paper at the same time. And I think it would probably depend on how your rotary, if you have the other kind of Fisker or whatever brand it is, because I have one of those. This is what I put on the back of my cards. This is a stamp that my granddaughter designed and had made for me. It says Random Acts of Kindness Studios, because I'm really big on random acts of kindness. Yes, I'm that person that, you know, over tips, and I don't go to fast food very often anymore, but I have been known to pay for the person behind me. I let people go in front of me at the grocery store when we're all lined up, because of all the things I can do, I can always be kind. Okay, stamped really well today. And that's archival ink. It's permanent and waterproof. It's worked very well for me. Dries quickly. Okay, and so to get these ready to go, I slide them inside. I buy these in bulk. There's any people ask me all the time where I get them. And it's like I just went online and I found like the biggest bunch that I could afford, and I don't even know what the size is on these anymore. It's 4 3/8 by 5 3/4. They're referred to as A2. Okay, and then this is the box. I'm getting ready. This is how I'm bundling them. I'm up to 11 Thinking of Yous. Now 15. So I'll mark that on my tag. And it looks like we can do probably 10 more. So 11 and 4 is 15. I can't find my pencil. I'll be sure I mark that down. Okay, and then I'm keeping track, not counting this batch. I have 100 cards in this box. Okay, all right. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, I would appreciate it if you would do that. My objective is to, I'll lay this here in case you would want to take a screenshot. But like I said, I worked with a couple of different sketches of people doing this out on Pinterest. My objective is to get the basics of card making out to people. It's a wonderful activity. It's a great thing to create, to donate. Making cards for any particular situation, whether you make a lot or you make a few, nothing is, a few things are as wonderful as getting a card in the mail these days. So, okay. So if you haven't subscribed, I would appreciate it if you would. It doesn't cost you anything. You won't get emails. It won't do anything for you in a way. I'm not monetizing, but it will help get the videos out there. Okay, thank you very much.